First day getting to the mission field, I was a little scared, but then we had those first interviews with our mission president, and I really fell in love with my mission president. Like, he was just the man. And so I was super excited. But then that first day of actually being in the field, like with my companion out on the street, I kind of felt like I was treading water, kind of keep my head above water, like, what am I doing? I don't know how to talk to these people. I don't know this message well enough. So that was a challenge, but I had a super good trainer. So he worked well with me at my slow pace. Lots of prayers, I would say, helped me the most when I was struggling that first little bit. But also setting small goals, like, all right, in the next couple of days, what do I want to be able to do? Whether it's approaching someone on the street and saying that we're missionaries, or bearing a simple testimony, or saying a simple prayer. So just every couple of days that I could noticeably do something more than I could previously. So I think that helped me focus on the little important things at that moment and not get so overwhelmed with the big picture. In the Spain-Malaga mission, Spain's divided into 3 missions, and it's kind of just by thirds. So the Malaga mission is the bottom third of Spain. It's kind of like the white painted buildings like on the hill, or like the olive vineyards that you kind of think of like in the movies. A lot of coast. In our mission, the smallest it ever got as far as missionaries was like, when I was there, was like 203, and the biggest was like 225. So I got there along with the age change with that big group. So I was there for like the whole influx. Mission president was President Monty Max Deer, and he's originally from Oklahoma but lives near here in Alpine, and he's just the man. And his wife, she's awesome too. We called her Mama Deer. So the schedule in Spain was a little bit different because, like, the Spaniard schedule is pretty off. They go to bed super late and then wake up late. Like, everything's just pushed back hours. Like, they would have dinner. We'd get invited to go to dinner at like 10 or 11. People would ask if we wanted to come over and have dinner. And they would have lunch at 2 or 3. So to adjust for that, our schedule was different as well. So we, depending on summer or winter, each schedule was off by half an hour. But in summer, we wouldn't get up till 7:30, and then we'd go to bed at 11:30. So that was pretty different. It was weird to think, like, as I was getting back to my apartment, my friends who were on missions, like, were in bed asleep. So I felt kind of rebellious. But so we'd wake up, have our exercise time, get ready, get dressed, personal studies, companionship studies. Depending if it was winter or summer, we'd either do language study in the morning or in the afternoon. Because in the middle of the day they have, it's called mediodía. And so you just take basically 3 hours out of the middle of your day and go back to your apartment because everyone in Spain is asleep. They just take a big siesta, a big nap. So we would go back and have lunch, have another little bit of time to study. If we didn't have language study in the morning, then we'd do it in the afternoon, area book. So it was kind of hard having that big chunk of time because you kind of like wind down, and then when it's time to go out, you're just relaxed and you're got to psych yourself up a little bit. So then we'd go out. I don't know how it was with many other missions, but we didn't have a time, like a slot to eat dinner in the evening, like that hour, just because our lunch was so late. So it's eat a big lunch, at like 2, go out and tract and teach until 10 or 10:30, depending on when you had to be back, and then get back and plan and eat something quick and then go to bed. Areas I served in, if there are any Star Wars fans, I served in Sevilla, and there's a landmark in Sevilla called the Plaza de España, and that's where parts of, I think it's episode 2 was filmed. Oh, episode 1. It was episode 1. Yeah. So that was super cool. Sevilla's a super old, pretty city. It's where Christopher Columbus is buried, and I feel like there's some other random facts about it. I also served in a little town outside of Malaga, right on the coast, so we talked to a lot of tourists. Every once in a while, some members on vacation would take us out to lunch. I was also in Granada, where the Alhambra is, which I think is one of the seven wonders of the world. I was in Alicante, and another small city called Torrevieja, which is also on the coast, and in Gibraltar. So technically, I guess I served in England for a little bit of my mission. Got to play with some monkeys and eat some fish and chips.